What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Motivational Monday. Today, we're going to talk about being burnout in the middle. And what I mean by that is most people, if we take a car, for example, when you start a build project, you are so excited. You can see the end in mind. You can see what that car is going to look like when it's done. And what do? You buy a whole lot of parts, the parts that you need to build this dream. It's really exciting. You max out some credit cards, you do whatever you got to do to get all these parts rolling in. And then all of a sudden boxes of your dream starts rolling in. You get to unbox them and you get joy every time you unbox a particular part. It's so exciting. You can envision that part on the car. You can see it done, just box after box. It's awesome. Well, then you come to a point where you have to start putting all those boxes together, or you have to build a chassis or whatever, part that you're in, and the work starts to get hard, right? It's not as easy as picking up the phone and having someone else do it. And now it is on you to install or build all these parts that you've ordered. And we'll call that the middle. And I think if you look at just projects that are for sale on Facebook, things like that, just the middle is where projects are sold. The middle is where people quit. The middle is where people don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And in life, we do the same thing. You can, I think about this place and all the things that we have going. I will tell you that, it says most small businesses fail after 5 years. Years 2 and 3 for us were the absolute hardest. That was the middle. It was, growing pains, trying to figure out what made most financial sense, just not knowing, like never running a business before. Like 2 and 3, that middle was really hard. And when you have the first stages of anything, you're so excited. It's easy to get excited at that first stage, but how do you carry excitement through the middle when the end seems so far away? And I was just thinking about that thought a lot this weekend, about how many dreams die in the middle. And God, actually, there's something kind of cool that I've never really had noticed before, and I'm going to tip my hat to my pastor, Marcus. This kind of is, I'm stealing from him, right? And I'll be honest with you guys, you always ask me, like, where do these Motivational Mondays come from? Well, a lot of it is just life experience, but a lot of it is going to church on Sunday and listening to something that the pastor says, and I tweak it for what is more, what is applicable to the life that we're living. And that is this instant. So in the beginning, if you think about, and again, I'll say this because I got the Bible right here and normally do. You do not have to believe to belong here. You don't have to think the way that I do or any of that. It doesn't matter. I hope that you can find encouragement from this. So in the beginning of this book, God started probably the biggest project ever. He decided to create what we know to be true, right? And that is my personal belief. If you think different, that's okay. Go through with this analogy with me. So he starts the biggest project. It says that the earth was without form or void. It was just sitting there waiting to be built. And in the creation account, it takes God 6 days to build what he wanted to build. In the beginning, he said, let there be light. The lights turn on. And I don't know what all that took for God to do it, right? It doesn't really go into that. It just says that he spoke it. I don't know if it took more than that or less than that or whatever. But after God finishes that little bit of a project, he said, man, that's good. These lights, awesome. When Mike Farmer put these new lights in this shop, awesome. When we have new lights at the new shop, man, those are really awesome. But he took time to celebrate the small victory. And then, making the world light up, probably not a small victory, but you get what I'm saying. And then on the next day, he did something else. And after he got done with that, you know what he said? Man, that's good. He celebrated a little bit. And then the next day he did something else. And you know what he did again? He's like, man, that's good. Give it, the old pat on the back a little bit. Like that, what we did, that is good. That is awesome. And then at the end of everything, when he got down to his final vision, when the work was complete, God said, man, this is very good. Like, we did it. This is very good. And I think for us, a lot of times as humans, we have a problem celebrating the small wins. We just want to celebrate the big victory. So what God teaches us in this little thing, he never, I'm just reaching here, but he doesn't lose momentum because he's celebrating the small victories, because he knows that there's going to be a big win at the end. And when you're in the middle of a car build, or you're in the middle of something in your life that you just can't see the end of the tunnel, I think what's important is to celebrate the small victories. So if we go back to the car, like you order all these 4-link parts from us, I appreciate you. You get the 4-link brackets in the car. Step back, like, man, that's good. We did something. Look at what we did. And what that does is psychologically gives you the sense of accomplishment, and your brain wants that over and over and over again. So if you take time to just pat yourself on the back for the small things, that will get you through the middle. It will get you through the wins that don't seem as big, right? Everybody wants to win at the racetrack, right? We want to win the big races. You can't win the big races until you win one round. You can't win a big race until you actually get your car there. So celebrate the things that you think aren't really worth celebrating, because that will give you the momentum to carry to get the big win, to get the big victory, to finish the big project. You got to win the day before you can win the year. You got to win the year before you can win the decade. You got to win the decade before you can win in a lifetime. So we love you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.